Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lew Newmark, and I am the owner and be-all, know-it-all blogger of Lew Newmark, My Domestic Life. In a recent conversation with someone who I'm very close to, the question was asked why I do so many posts, why I do so many posts and why I put up so many posts on Facebook. The answer to that question basically is because I have a disease and a condition that most people don't know about or are not aware of. If you take a look at me, I probably look quite normal to you. I may look as if maybe there's a little bit of an issue with my walking, but it's much more than that. For those of you who aren't familiar with this condition, I have something that's called vasculitis. If you go to my blog, www.lewnewmark.com, you'll see what vasculitis is. I'm not going to turn around and give a big description or have a big discussion about it here in this video. But to answer the question as to why I do so many posts about vasculitis and other medical conditions, I'll give you one word. It's called awareness. It's so very important that people understand that vasculitis is a disease that can kill people. Okay? It can affect people's lives, it can destroy them, it can put people out of work, it can put people on disability like I am. It's a disease that I'd never heard of until I was diagnosed with it in 2008. The disease I was first diagnosed with is called Church-Strauss syndrome. It's being given a new name which I couldn't even pronounce, and it doesn't matter as to the new name. The fact of the matter is, until I was diagnosed with Church-Strauss syndrome, I'd never heard of that disease. I'd never heard of vasculitis. Okay, it wasn't something that I heard about. And we're talking June of actually this month, 5 years ago. And to this day, while there are certain groups and organizations that can help that are knowledgeable, a lot of them you'll find on Facebook, which I'm going to start listing some of those Facebook groups on the Lew Newmark, My Domestic Life blog page under links. You still don't hear a lot of, you don't see any commercials on television, any advertisements for vasculitis awareness on television. I'm going to be doing an article today concerning Nick Cannon with a recent diagnosis that I don't remember seeing in the news, but it was, I guess, on a magazine or on a news website, a report about it. But again, the idea is awareness. If you've never heard of vasculitis and you don't know who I am, then you have no idea that I live with something that potentially is damaging all my basic body's organs, from my heart, my lungs, my legs. Due to vasculitis, I have issues with my legs as far as neuropathy, which was an after effect of that. I've had high counts of insulin in my blood, almost to where I was stage 2 diabetic. I mean, I just have a lot of things that tie in with vasculitis, and the point is, I do what I do because of awareness, because people need to know. Outside of a lot of the groups that you'll find that just seem to share information with themselves but don't necessarily share their lives or what they live with other people outside of these communities. While there are a couple of blogs that may have had stories or in the past about vasculitis and some of the things that, that these people have lived with, I do what I do on a continuing basis because it's important for people to know. It's important for people outside of these little communities to understand what vasculitis is, and maybe other diseases that are close to, vasculitis also. I will be talking about a disease that my daughter was diagnosed with maybe 2 or 3 years ago now, called ITP. But this is why I do the posts, why I do them so often, and why they're important. It's important to understand what vasculitis is, and it's important to put a face to the disease. And while I'm not saying that I'm going to be that face, I'm probably the one that you'll see more often than not talking about this in forums outside of the usual support groups. So when you come to lewnewmark.com, these are the things you can expect. This is why I do what I do, simply for awareness, because we need to get it out there more than just the usual channels. So hopefully that answers that question. I'm Lew Newmark. And I invite you to go to my website, lewnewmark.com. That's www.lewnewmark.com. My domestic life, living with vasculitis. I want to thank you for taking the time to see this video, and I'll see you all again in the future.